Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Sweaty Matt. It is now again summer in South Africa, summer in Durban where I live, and welcome to the perspiring person that I become during summer. I want to talk to you about something that I'm quite cross about, and that is the cost of certain things. Now, last week, if you're following my videos sequentially and you watch every Sunday, last Sunday I did a video on pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, using money, going to learn how to rewire your kitchen, or learning how to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, please. I did this video, and I was just thinking, after that I was looking at some YouTube videos, and I was kind of like going, okay, maybe, I wonder how many people are actually doing this and that. And one of the things I stumbled across was a lady who had to have this operation, some female problems, and she had to have the operation. It wasn't something that she was just doing. She wasn't having her boobs lifted and her wrinkles taken off. This was serious stuff. She had to have a lady operation, and I'm sure many of you ladies kind of know what I'm talking about. And she had to have this done for her health. And her health insurance wouldn't cover it. And she had to go and have this operation, and she was basically, let's put it bluntly, she couldn't afford it. She literally could not afford it. And this is a woman who's on health insurance. She has health insurance. In South Africa, we call it a medical aid and a hospital plan. So you pay every month, and then you use it at a hospital. And she couldn't pay. She couldn't even afford like a government hospital, okay? And I was just thinking, in South Africa, we're very blessed. We do have something like the British would call the NHS, where if you are unemployed or if you can't afford something, you can go to a government hospital and you can have procedures done. You can go into the hospital and have stuff done, and you can get medication for their different sort of things. If you are unemployed completely, you can spend like 20 Rand. They'll charge you 20 Rand, which is virtually nothing in US dollars. So there are those things, but there comes with that the price of the quality of medical care you're going to get. And a government hospital, if you speak to anyone in South Africa, is just a huge no-no. You don't want to end up there, because you could go in for a ingrown toenail and you will come out with hepatitis, COVID, and the wrong leg removed. Okay, I am exaggerating a little bit, but trust me, I'm not exaggerating a lot. So in South Africa, and I'm talking from South African point of view, we have medical aids which we pay towards, and they are hellishly expensive. Not everyone can afford a medical aid. In fact, only some people can afford them because they are so expensive. But they do keep you out of the government hospitals. However, this woman that I was talking about, she couldn't even afford that. She couldn't afford anything. And eventually she did a whole GoFundMe thing, which a lot of people do this. I'm not sure how it works, but anyway. And she eventually got absolute strangers off the internet to pay for her operation. And this wasn't one of those cons where the lady said she had cancer, and then 6 months later she's got like $4 million and she doesn't have cancer anymore, and she's found out to be a fraud and blah, blah, blah. This was a genuine thing, because they did a whole like mini documentary on this woman. And I was just thinking to myself, my God, what happens to people who don't have any access to medication, don't have access to medicine? I know that in America especially, the cost of insulin is prohibitive. It's almost impossible if you're a normal working person. How do you afford insulin? It's almost unaffordable. And I was just thinking, how can a country, any country, I don't care if it's a first world country or a third world country, how can any country turn you away when you are in desperate need of health, of physical well-being? How can they just turn you away because you don't have enough money? We have it here in South Africa. If you don't have enough money, let's say you're bleeding profusely from some cut or whatever, and you go to a private hospital, the first thing they ask you is, are you on medical aid? No medical aid, sorry. They put you back in the ambulance and they will take you to a government hospital. They will not treat you. Now, how does that happen? How does it happen? How do you as a person who can't afford medicines and medical help, where do you go? Let me know down below, especially my American viewers, my American subscribers, because you are 45-50% of my subscribers are from the USA. My British subscribers, you have the NHS. You're kind of very similar to South Africa in a way, but my American viewers, I watch horror stories on YouTube, absolute horror stories. I watch a lot of stuff on America. I'm very up to date with American politics. I have no idea what's happening in my country because I just couldn't care. But I want to know from you, what do you do? Do you just not have the operation? If you are on chronic medication, like the big thing is insulin, do you just go without? Do you just take your chances? I mean, my channel is aimed at middle class people. We are middle class and up. We are not people who are on the breadline, okay? We are not those who are lower income. They wouldn't be watching me because they probably don't have the luxury of capped internet and streaming services and that sort of thing, because they need the money for food. So I'm not even talking about those people. I have no idea how those people could possibly afford medical assistance. Okay, going to a hospital, being booked in for operations and that sort of thing. I don't know if you in America have a system where you can go to hospital if you are unemployed, and they will then do stuff for you for like maybe $20 or for free. Some people, and sometimes in South Africa, you will go, and if you're unemployed, you won't pay anything. Okay, if you are unemployed and nobody in your family works or whatever, you don't pay at all. As I said to you, you'll go to a government hospital. God help me, I'm touching wood. But you at least have some form of treatment. I find it very interesting that a first world country has this problem, whereas we in South Africa, we are a third world country, although you wouldn't say so looking at us. If you go and Google South Africa, you'd see what I mean. But we are a third world country, and we actually have a really good system of, if you can't afford the meds, the government kind of takes care of you. If you can afford the meds, fantastic. You can go to the private hospitals when you can choose what breakfast you want and what lunch you want off a menu, and you lie there with gorgeous nurses. You go to a government hospital, you get what you get, okay? And trust me, those nurses ain't what you see in the Carry On movies, all right? This is serious stuff. You got nurses who are in charge of maybe one nurse to every 50 or 60 patients. It's scary out there. Even in my country. So yeah, I can't understand how this happens, and it's a terrifying thought. It's really a terrifying thought that you are, or people in your country, and maybe even people you know, are being subjected to this kind of treatment, and a lot of people just look away. They look to the side. They aren't interested in doing something positive and real about this problem. So how many of you know about this? How many of you are involved in this? How many of you are, what I mean involved, how many of you have kind of had this experience? I would just like to be I'm very interested to know, because it kind of makes me really angry to think that there are people out there who they can't even fill their bellies, let alone go for medical treatments that they desperately need. Please comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on this. Write me a paragraph if you want to. You know, I love reading stuff that's long and involved. I love hearing your ideas and things, guys. Please don't ever feel shy to comment. But that's enough of your time for today. I just wanted to get that off my chest and ask you this question. So you know who I am. I am Matt from Tubby Tarot, and I will see you on the flip side.